This is another request from a subscriber from some time back. I gave him a tip on how to do it with liquid scale, but he asked how to remove objects from a image, and his name was Justin Howard. So Justin, I hope this will fulfill what you requested. Now this is an image that was required for an internet page for a senior centre in Penrith, but there was too many obstacles in the way of the image, and it looked very untidy. So you can use the clone tool or the healing tool to do the similar job, but for large objects it's much easier to make a selection. Make a selection around your image. I'll duplicate the image so you can see the difference. Now, not to be greedy in all these exercises, just take part of that image there, and then go and copy it to your clipboard. Copy, and then return and paste. Now that gives you a floating selection pasted layer, so we make it a complete layer by that, and that's the layer there, just that little tiny piece. Now we go to our move tool, and of course I always click this one here, move the active layer. Now all you do to move that layer into place and just line up the guttering. Okay, now we go to the top layer again, right click on it and merge it down. By doing that, you're back to the image, the working image again. Now we go back to our rectangular select tool and select another piece just here. Once again, don't be too greedy, because you get part of the image that doesn't suit, which would be the corners of this here. So we go back to edit and we copy, we go back to edit again and we paste. Now once again it's a floating layer, we make it a complete layer, and that's our little layer there. We go to the move tool and we move that over that other part of the waste bin, because it made it look very untidy. And then once again we go and merge down. Now the other difficult part of this is this big sign here, because most of the image I'll be doing later. To cut the video down, I'll be doing it really fast, but this will give you some idea on what I'm going to do. We go back to the rectangular select tool, and because this is an image, it's quite a piece of something we don't really want, so you grab that part there, we go to edit, we copy that to the clipboard, we go back and we paste it. Once again it's a floating layer, click on it, make it a layer, and then grab our move tool and move that across so it covers and lines up with the gable of the roof. Now don't worry about the foliage in the background. I think it's about right, the gable. Some of these angles are a bit tricky. Now I need to merge that down, and then I go back and I paste another one in, because it's of the same thing. We go to move tool, make it a complete layer, and then move it into place by doing just the same thing. Now we're getting rid of that part of that sign. Okay, you can use the arrow key just to move it one pixel at a time, and I think that's about right. So I'll go and merge that down. Now the tree doesn't suit, so we can go to our clone tool now, and of course it's a fuzzy one, it'll give it a fuzzy edge, and we need to increase the size of the clone tool, and of course you can do it with this here, or the bracket keys on the keyboard. Now the foliage of this tree here, I'll just take a sample now. The tip is down the bottom. It says down the bottom here, it says control and click to take a sample, so we do that now. Click. Now it's given me the crosshairs, which told me it's got the sample, so we just click in there and fill that in with the foliage of that bush, and just give it a bit more there, because it gives it the appearance that it's covering the building as well. Then we can clean that up there, and I need to take a bit more foliage from this one here to cover that one there, because it's part of the other side of the building. Okay, well it's a little bit too much there, so I'll go back and undo that little bit because of that there. Now I'll reduce the size of my brush using the bracket keys, and so just clean that up in there like so, and then clean that up there as well. We take another piece of foliage by the same method and just clean that up in there. It's a bit heavy still. We go over here and get maybe a bit of that foliage and clean that up. That's better. Now we need to clean up the roof line, so it's the similar thing. We're just using the clone tool, because if you use the healing brush, it takes a sample of the area around, and it'll blend the two together and give you a bit of a fuzzy area. So there we go, we've got rid of that sign now, and now all we need to do now is get rid of the post. Now we do that by going back to our rectangular selection tool and select an area around where the post is. Now once again, you don't try and be too greedy. In this case I think I can be, and okay, and then I go and copy that to the clipboard and go back and paste it. Go to copy, back to edit, paste, make it a layer, go back to the move tool, and then move that over the top of that post. Now once again, we've got to line up that little bit of gable. Now I'm going to use the bracket keys, up and down arrow, just one up, and that should do it. I'll speed the process up and get rid of these other ones here. The only thing you've got to watch is, once again, don't be too greedy, because we've got to line the gables up and the bricks. So I'll now speed up the process so you've got the idea on how to clone it. And that's basically how you remove larger objects from your image. Now the image wasn't a very good quality one, because where the post was, you can see the difference in colours in the tree, which is the same tree in the background. So that the quality of the image wasn't 100%, so it made it a little bit more difficult to do. But that they wanted that for that image for their web page, so it needed to be cleaned up. So here's the difference. I turn that eye off, and now you can see what we've done. We've taken those items away and tidied the image up reasonably well. So thank you for that question, Justin, and I hope it's answered yours.